Hey everyone, welcome back to the site. I am sorry that I haven't had a video out earlier this week. It's Christmas, which means stop work and get ill, which is not unusual for me. I hope you're having a fantastic time with your friends and your families. I've managed to see both my grandkids around, seen loads of family, been really lovely. I've just been super tired at the end of every day, so I've not had a chance to do a video. Anyway, today, what we're going to do is we're going to use make.com, and what I wanted to show you was the ability to send an email, take the information out of that email, store it, then push it up to ChatGPT, create an output, and then send an email back. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's get into it. Okay, here we are in Make. I have put the automation in the zigzag format just so you can see more of it. If I press this button down here, it will auto align it into a nice straight line, because it is a straight line. But I've done it this way so you can see more of it. And what I'll do is I'll go through each of these steps. And this is not for you to copy what I've done, but it gives you an idea of what you can do with Make and how you can use it in your own workspace to automate interesting tasks, or to make use, in this case, to be able to make use of an AI automation that I've created. Anybody can use it and they'll get a response direct to them without having access to my automation at all. They can just send me an email with a document that they want processing. It will do the processing for them and send it back, and I don't even need to be involved. So let's jump in. All right, first thing, we need to set up the email trigger. So it goes into my Google Doc, my Google Mail account, goes into the inbox, and it's a Gmail filter. And what I want it to do, it's got a Gmail filter on it. And what I want it to do is to look at any email that's in the Gmail account that has the subject blogger. So it has the word blogger in its subject, and then that will pick that out. So all the other rubbish that I get in my Gmail account, it'll just ignore. But if it's got blogger written in it, it will say, oh gosh, that's the one I'm interested in. And then it will say that message is read once it's seen it, and it will find one result. So it'll find the first result with blogger in it. Now I could set that to be 4 or 5, for instance, but it will depend on how often I want to either get the automation just to automatically look, or I set the automation off to go and find any that have been sent to me since the last time I ran it. So that's the Gmail, very simple. So it picks out a email with a subject blogger on. You could pick out emails from somebody. So if you wanted to pick out emails from your boss and you wanted to send it back to them, suggesting how wonderful they were looking today, for instance, you could do that. There's a whole series of different things that you could use. These are the things that you can look for. So you can look at from, to, who's copied to, or BCC to, the subject line. That's the one I used. So I put subject dinner, or you can have anniversary party. So for instance, if you were collecting ideas for gifts, etc., you can have it over a certain amount of time. So after, before, older, newer, older than a certain day, so older than 1 year or older than 2 days. You wanted to get Make to clear out everything in your diary that's more than a year old. You could do that. You can actually do that within Gmail, I think. Amy, or from David, so you can decide who it's from. So you could look for words that are that are around things. So holiday around 10, vacation, secret around 25, birthday. Right. So the numbers tell you how many words they can be within each other. Add labels. You can use categories inside your inbox, so you could just find your categories. Put tags on things, particular file names in, or PDFs, for instance. It's got a file name PDF, and there's lots of other things. So there's loads of ways that you can use Make to pick out specific emails in your inbox. Think about how powerful that might be. This next automation basically takes the file, the attachment from the email that's come in and saves it. That's all it does. So it asks you first where are you going to save this file, and then you take it from the Gmail automation. You're looking at attachments and file name. So that's the attachment and file name, and that gives you the file name. And then the data is attachments and data. Therefore, and then it will save that to my folder that I've called blogs. It will call it attachment and file name. Simple. Next, we move on to download that file. So it's saved the file, and now you want to download that file. And this will, first of all, you enter the file manually. So it is choosing the file, and it's choosing the file ID, which is the output from this. So the reason I've wanted to save it is because then I've got a record of it, a record of what actions this automation has taken, but it saves it from this, and it basically just takes the file ID. Here we go, this one here, and it converts it, whatever it is, whatever type of attachment it was, it will convert it to a PDF. Because then we know when we upload it to ChatGPT, it will work. If you have different types of files, then often that can create a crash with ChatGPT. So simple, we save them all as a PDF. Next, now we're starting to use ChatGPT. And remember, all you're doing here to add modules on is, if I just break this one, unlink this, if I wanted to add a new module here, press this and add a new module, and it can be any of the things you can see what I've used recently: the Gmail, Google Drive, OpenAI, Google Docs, Markdown module, Perplexity. It's not actually using Perplexity in this particular one, but in another one I'm doing, I do use Perplexity, Google Sheets, etc. So you just add another one on. If you want to understand the basics of Make, then have a look at this video here. If you want to know how to use the basics of Make, then have a look at this video up here. Okay, let's just reconnect these two. So we have the emails come in, we've taken the attachment from it, saved it, we've now uploaded the attachment. We're going to now send it to ChatGPT. So it's taking the file, Google Drive, the downloaded file, and it's sending it up to an assistant. Now, this one I am using an OpenAI connection. So I'm not going straight into ChatGPT. I'm going into an assistant, and I'm going to pop into the assistant in a moment and show you why I'm using that and how that works. So I'm taking the file and I'm uploading it to the assistant. And then the next thing I need to do is I need to tell the assistant where to store the file, and where we're going to put it in is a place called a vector store. And I've created a vector store, and I'm pushing up the file ID to the vector store. Let's jump into the assistant and see why this is important. Okay, now if you remember in the last video that I used make.com, I created these assistants, and I now have this write a blog body assistant, write a whole blog in HTML format, and that's the one we're going to use today. I've also created a legal reviewer assistant, which means that I can use the same process but to review legal contracts, for instance. So I'm asking ChatGPT to be a legal reviewer for contracts. This one, for this video, I'm showing you the blogging version. And so this is an API call into ChatGPT. What I want to do is send a document to it, and then the API to use that document to do its process. So what you have to do is you have to have this file search clicked on. And then when you have the file search, you have a vector store. So here is the vector store. So you can either put files directly into it, so you can do it manually like this, or you can create a vector store. So if you go down here onto storage on the left hand side, you'll see these are all the files I have uploaded in testing this out. And it actually wasn't this bit that's been a problematic, it's been another bit. But anyway, here we go. So here we have a vector store. So I've created a vector store called blog GPT, and that effectively sits there and it is waiting for files to be uploaded to it so that this API knows where to find the file. Yeah, it has to have a memory, and this is its memory. So I've created a memory specifically for this GPT that I can then call on for my make automation. So if you need to create a vector store, you basically just go into here, you press create, give it a title. Don't have to put any of this in, just give it a title. And then when you want to connect an API to the data, to the vector store, you can, let's see if we can go in this one, which I don't use very much, so I can mess around with it. So you have to put the file search on, and then you select a vector store, and you need the vector store ID. So just go into storage, vector stores, untitled, and you just copy that ID. So you just click it to copy it, and you go into your assistants, back in this one, add files, select a vector store, paste your vector store in, and there it's attached, so that you then have a vector store attached. So if I wanted to push documents up and save them, I save for this GPT, and I save them into that vector store, and then this GPT can draw from that vector store. I hope that makes sense. I hope it does, because it makes it really powerful, and you can take things, really use a focused GPT on them, and then give the output based on that. Okay, quick recap. Get the email drops into the inbox. It finds the ones with blogger in the subject line, downloads the attachment, uploads the attachment to Google Drive, sends it to ChatGPT, puts it in the vector store, and then this one calls the API, calls the blog writing API, ChatGPT 4.0 Mini, and I'll explain why I'm using that. We're using the role as assistant. It's being my assistant. I'm not using it directly. And the message is processed the latest file I've uploaded to the vector store. Simple as that. So I've given it a detailed prompt and just say, take the latest file I put in the vector store and then run the prompt on it. That's all it does. Very straightforward. None of the rest need to be filled out. Let's have a look at the prompt that I put in. And what I'll do is I will leave a link to all of these prompts and to the blueprint for this automation, so you can download it and then put your own connections in, and hopefully it will work for you. Okay, let's have a look. Let's go back to the assistant. Okay, so I have created a prompt, a detailed prompt. So you're a social media blogging expert. Give it a persona. Based on the latest submission to the vector store. So what's in the vector store? Write a blog for the professor, YouTube content creator focused on all things AI, aimed at a business audience. Goes through what I like it to be approachable, etc. Entirely written in beautifully formatted Markdown, following British English spelling conventions. You avoid using emojis. Communicate AI generated content subtly through anecdotes or indirect references, ensuring the writing feels naturally human authored. Aim for a word count of approximately 1,200 words with a range of 800 to 1,500 words. Interestingly, and this is new, I believe, here you can actually go in and ask ChatGPT to update its own prompt. This is in beta, and actually it's pretty good. I'll explain some of the things that I've added in using this prompt. Okay, so then we get into the blog outline, title, create a compelling title, introduction, write clear introduction, section 1, overview and topic, use H2 and H3 headings, present the main ideas logically, provide real-life examples or case studies, insights and challenges, for thought-provoking insights. So there's a conclusion with key takeaways. Call to action is optional. Decide whether it wants to put it in or not. Provide a list of fully referenced material used with the blog. Writing style, personable, personable and yet professional, flavor clarity, precision, acceptable to include balanced criticism of different viewpoints, aim for a conversation style where appropriate. And then I put in 3 example blogs that I thought were pretty good. So that's the prompt that I've got there. Let's jump back into Make. So in this bit of the automation, as I said before, I'm asking the assistant to do some work for me, process the latest file I've uploaded into the vector store. So as you saw, the prompt does that. It asks you to do that. Then we get an output, and this goes into Markdown. So this takes that Markdown output that we got from ChatGPT and puts it into HTML. So it's the result of this gets put into HTML, not sanitized. And then a document is created, and we say the document content is HTML document, body is the HTML output from the Markdown automation. I'm going to save it onto my drive. I've created a special folder for the outputs. Could insert a header, could insert a footer, could also insert a picture. Now, I haven't done it for this because I was really about showing you the email in and email out. But of course, what you could do is then say, we've got this blog, produce me a suitable picture for it. And use DALL-E, for instance, or one of the others. But I haven't done it on this time, but on this occasion, but you could. And then that document is saved into Google Drive. And I'm saving it in MS Word document format. And then final email says, take the sender's email. So that's the sender's email from here. So email came in, sender's email address. I'm taking it from this automation here. I'm putting a new subject in called blog return. And then I'm putting in the content, which is the web view link from Google Drive document. Taking the document from here, web view version of that document, content ID, and it sends it back to the person that sent me the drive. So that sent me the email. So let's try it out. So I've created an email to the admin@theprofessor.info. Don't spam me, please. If you want to send me emails, that's where to get hold of me. And I've attached a PDF file. It's a research paper on AI. So let's see what we get. So I'm going to send that. Now over in Make, what I've done here is I've set it to run on demand. So I could set it to run at regular intervals, every 15 minutes, every 5 minutes. But using Make, each time you go and look to see if it should run, that makes a call on Make, and you have a limited number per month. So what I could do is run it on every hour, for instance, and it would then go to the email inbox, check how many had been received, and it would run those, send them off, and do the same thing an hour later. So there'd be 24 calls, 24 specific calls for that automation every day. But since I'm not doing that and I don't want to be spammed, I've left it to be on demand. So on demand just means that as long as there is an email there and I press run, if there's no email there, it won't run. If there is an email there that meets the criteria, then it will run. We've just sent one a few seconds ago. So let's see what happens when I press run once. So it's found an email, making a saving, going into ChatGPT. And this is the bit that's now creating the blog. That's the reason I put this Markdown in. I had some real problems in getting it to produce it in something that wasn't just the raw HTML or raw Markdown with asterisks, etc. that you see when you do that, when you do the ChatGPT copy. That's how it does it. So according to this, it's sent it off. Let's go and see whether it's arrived in the inbox. And there we go. We have a returned, called blog return. There's a document in there. Let's have a look. And there we go. It's created a blog in HTML. How cool is that? I could have sent that from anywhere in the world and it would have created a blog and sent it back to me. How very, very cool is that? Make.com. It's really, really powerful. I enjoy using it. As I say, I've created another version of this that will take a contract and do a legal review on it and then send you back the review by email. Simple as that. So think about the kinds of things you could use this technology for in your business. If you've got any ideas you'd like me to have a go at, this was requested by a colleague of mine. How can I just send an email and get the response? There we go. I've just shown it in this video. If you've got any ideas, please put them in the comments below. Let me know what you're using Make for, or let me know what you'd like to use Make for, and let's see if we can work it out together and produce some new ways of using AI. I hope you've enjoyed that video. Please don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, and then you'll get access to all the videos as they come out. Hopefully next time I speak to you, my voice will be a little bit better. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your Christmas holidays, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.